Welcome to day 2 of getting booked by Fashion Week. Let's get into it. Hello, hello, hello. My name is Lola Chél. I'm an internationally working, multi-agency represented full-time model, and I coach busy women just like you on how to get back into modeling and book paid modeling jobs. So if you're into that, follow for more. I am so glad that we are back for day 2 of this challenge to get you booked by Fashion Week. Okay. So fun fact, this challenge is free. I'm going to be walking you guys through exactly what I teach my models when I work with them one-on-one to actually guarantee that they get paid model bookings. If you want to know how I do it specifically for you, you can always drop the word Fashion Week in the comments below. We hop on a one-on-one sales call and put together a strategy that's going to work specifically for you so that you're not just guessing if this is going to work for you, but you have the guarantee. Okay. Okay. Let's get into day 2. So if you haven't already, go back and watch day 1. Day 1, we talked about your why. Every single model who is trying to get into modeling and make some money has to start with why. Why? Because if you don't know why you're doing this, then guess what? Chances are you're going to stop when things get hard. Happens every time. Again, if you want something a little bit more in depth with that, then by all means, you can check that out on day 1. Day 2, once the models that I coach one-on-one have gotten their why together, they normally send it over to me. I give them checks and balances. I make sure it's actually really strong and it's not just something that's nice to say, but something that's actually concise, simple, and strong for their careers. The next thing we do on day 2 is we figure out their goals. Now, fun fact, a lot of models think they have goals until I ask them what their goals are. Okay. A lot of models think they have goals until you ask them what their goals are. Then it's to make some money, or, my goal is to get represented, or, I want to walk in Fashion Week. And as cool as that sounds, right? If you don't set goals in the way that I teach my models, chances are you aren't going to actually accomplish them. Because a lot of models will say, for example, I want to walk in Fashion Week, right? And then when the opportunity to walk during Fashion Week, not for Fashion Week, during Fashion Week arises, you guys will actually pay to fly there. You'll pay for your lodging. You'll pay for your transportation. You'll pay for your food. You'll pay for actually selling tickets for your show. You will pay to get your hair and makeup done. You'll pay all this money to walk in Fashion Week. And then you're confused as to why you didn't get paid for the job. And everybody else who wants you to walk in their shows also doesn't want to pay you, right? It's because you set a goal that wasn't specific, measurable, achievable, relatable, or time bound, right? And this is why I work one-on-one with models who specifically want to make money, so that when they put together a goal, it actually supports them wanting to make money, not just doing something just because it sounds cool, and not just making a arbitrary goal like, oh yeah, I want to get paid, because guess what? Somebody could say, hey, I'm going to pay you $5 for this upcoming shoot, and I'm going to use this campaign to sell millions of dollars worth of products. And did you get paid? Yeah, you did, but you only got paid $5 because you were not specific. You didn't make sure it was measurable, achievable, relatable, or time bound. So let's get into it, right? Right. I had to do everything I'm teaching you guys inside of this challenge in my own career first. So the same way that I gave you guys the why that I started with, my first goal as a model was to, of course, make money internationally. I wanted to get a paid model booking internationally, because to me, that was going to prove that I could work anywhere. I didn't have to wait for it to work for me in Miami, or work for me in New York, or work for me, wherever I decided to be, Chicago, LA. I didn't have to wait for it to work for me just where I was. I could go anywhere and it could work, right? Right. So I set the goal in my modeling career so that I would know that I could make money anywhere as a model. So my first goal, I literally said, I want to book an international modeling job. That was my first goal. Now, here's how I made it into a SMART goal. The same way that I teach the models that I work with one-on-one, so that they can actually have goals that not only they can accomplish, but they can stair step them way into to accomplish a lot of smaller goals along the way. So I took the goal of I want to book an international modeling job, right? And I made it into a SMART goal. How do I make it specific, right? Okay. It's an international modeling job, right? The first time that I put that together, I did not include the word paid, right? So I actually booked an international job, but like they paid me in a 7-day stay, right? And it's just like, was that cool? Yeah, that was my first international job. Got it without an agency. But because I never said that I wanted a paid international job, I proved that I could work anywhere, but not that I could get paid anywhere. So I had to restructure. So I took the thought process of just wanting to do an international job to prove that I could work anywhere, to specifically wanting to be paid to shoot internationally. I wanted to be paid to model internationally. That's how I changed that from just modeling, getting an international modeling job, to making it specific. That's the first part of a SMART goal. I specifically said, now I want to get paid to model internationally. Boom. All right. Is it measurable? Right? Yeah. I can measure whether or not I made money modeling outside of the United States. It's measurable. Is it achievable? Yes, at that time it became achievable because I'd already gotten an international job before. I just didn't actually get paid for it. Okay. So I took my first goal as a model. This is day 2. Remember, day 1, we talked about the model why. Day 2 of the challenge, you got to set your model goals. And it's got to be a SMART goal: specific, measurable, attainable, relatable, and time bound. So I took my first goal of doing an international modeling job, and then I made it more specific. I wanted to get paid to model internationally. Is that measurable? Yes. Did I get paid to model outside of the United States? Was it achievable? Yes, because I had already gotten a international modeling job, even if I didn't get paid for it, right? So it's not like I went from, like some models like to say they've never made a dime before in their lives, but like, yeah, I want to make $100,000 in the next 2 months. And it's like, is that attainable for somebody? Sure. But if you don't know how to make money as a model, you don't have a portfolio, you don't have a social media, you don't have an agency, you don't know where to find paid modeling jobs, you don't have your digitals, you don't have a pack modeling bag, what are the odds that in 2 months you're going to make $100,000? Attainable. Is the goal attainable? Okay. My SMART goal that I was building, and I'm like walking you guys through how I built it. My SMART goal was attainable because I had already done something similar before. I wasn't going from, oh, I've only ever been, hired to shoot for my cousin's clothing store, to I'm going to model internationally and make money. No. My goal became attainable because I had done something similar or in a similar vein already. Was this goal relatable to my why? This is why we do day 1 first. Because if I did not have the why of making sure that people who look like me, who have my hair texture and my skin complexion, could see themselves as a standard of beauty and occupying luxury spaces, then me wanting to model internationally wouldn't be a relatable goal. I wouldn't be pushing myself to accomplish that because it had nothing to do with my why. This is why we spent so much time on day 1. And this is why when I work with models one-on-one, we take that 30 minutes a day and we really focus on your why. And we really make sure it's a strong why. Because when we start to build goals off of that why, we need to make sure that what you are going towards actually matches why you're doing it. Because if not, again, I'm going to give you a great example. If my why was I wanted to show more size inclusivity and height inclusivity on the runway, then me getting a paid international modeling job, just any international modeling job, has nothing to do with me trying to show height and size inclusivity on the runway, right? And so me pursuing that goal, could I do it? Sure. But am I really going to put forth the effort to do so? Am I really going to set up smaller goals leading up to that actually match what I ultimately want to do as a model? Right? Are the things that I'm ultimately trying to do as a model, is that going to lead me to just doing a paid international job? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, this is why we spent so much time on day 1, and why when I work with models one-on-one, especially busy women, we take the first 30 minutes of our first day and we figure out why you're doing this. That way, when we're setting up goals, not only are you encouraged and excited to accomplish them, but everything you do to set yourself up for them is related back to why you're modeling in the first place. And so the chances of you quitting, the chances of you stopping, the chances of you getting burnt out is so much lower because the entire reason that you're modeling is tied into every single step you're doing to accomplish your goals. If that makes sense to you guys, drop some likes. Let me know with a yes or no. I want to make sure I'm not losing you, because this is what I do when I coach models one-on-one, especially with the upcoming challenge of getting you guys a paid model booking by Fashion Week. This is just day 2. Right? When I work with models one-on-one every single day, like you're going to see in this challenge, I'm teaching them something that builds on the day before, so that by the time we get through 2 weeks, You've got your why, you've got your goals, you've got your digitals, you've got your model bag, you know your niche, you know your market, you've got a portfolio, you've got a social media that works, you know where to find paid modeling jobs, you know what agencies are going to amplify you. That is why we're doing this challenge. So you can actually see not only how simple it is, the way that I coach, but also that you get results that you think is going to take you months and years in just 30 minutes a day. Okay. And even though I look like a fairy, the real magic is what I'm doing in these modeling careers, okay? I am coming off of a challenge where in the last 30 days, I helped 4 separate models make money. And so now I want to amplify that by Fashion Week to help busy women like you make money as well. All right. So getting back to day 2, SMART goal. So we took my first goal, which was do an international modeling job, and we've turned it into a SMART goal. We made it specific because we turned it from just doing an international modeling job to getting paid to model internationally. It's achievable. Sorry, it's measurable because I can measure whether or not I got paid, did I make money and work outside of the country? Yes or no. Is it attainable? Yes, because I had already done an international job before. Is it related to my why? Yes, because by me modeling internationally, I'm showing outside of just the United States in other countries that somebody who looks like me with my skin complexion and my hair texture can be the standard of beauty and occupy luxury spaces. Huzzah, huzzah. Okay, the next, attainable. The relatable is making sure it related back to my why, which it did. Last but not least, is it time bound? This is where a lot of models fall off. They think they have a great goal, but then there's no time limit, right? And a goal without a date is just a dream. You could say, I want to be a millionaire. But if you don't say, like, I want to be a millionaire in the next 10 years, then you could become a millionaire in the next 4 years. You could make $1 million in the next 60 years, right? But if you don't put an actual timestamp on it, you're not going to set yourself up to be able to accomplish it in that amount of time. Does that make sense? Okay. When we took the original goal of I want to be an international model, right? I want to be an international model. Or do an international modeling job. When we made that into a SMART goal, we made it specific by taking it from I want to be an international model, I want to do an international modeling job, to I want to be paid to model internationally in the next 5 years. That was the thing that I said. In the next 5 years, that was my time. Okay. So I just want to do an international modeling job, to I want to be paid to model internationally within the next 5 years. That is a SMART goal, because now that I have the time step of the next 5 years, I can now work backwards. And this is what I do when I coach models one-on-one. This is what I do when I help models, get that paid booking by Fashion Week. And again, if you're interested in that, you can put the word Fashion Week or DM us the word Fashion Week, hop on a sales call, and let's get you on your way, right? But the reason that I can work retroactively now is because now that I have that 5-year time, right? I can now see, okay, well, in the next 3 years, what do I want to have in place so that I can book that international job in the next 5 years? If I want to do it on my own, like independently, which I have, then what do I need to do in order to get international clients? I can work on growing international client connections in the next 3 years so that I can pitch myself for international jobs in the next 4 years, and then I could land it within 5 years. You see how I was able to put that together just by working backwards? And what really always gets me, and this is something that my students, when I coach them one-on-one, they actually see it firsthand. A lot of the times, once you make a SMART goal, you are going to accomplish it quicker than you actually intended. I accomplished that goal of just going from like, oh, I want to do an international modeling job. I got that relatively quickly. But when I said I wanted to be paid to model internationally in the next 5 years, I accomplished that in 2 years, not 5. And it's because I had a timestamp. It's because I had a ultimate goal, and I was able to put things in place to accomplish that goal in the long run. And because I put those things into place, and if you guys are curious, I started to work with brands who are international. They were like outside of the United States. Like they were based in the United States, but they had, just different clientele internationally, right? They had like different pop-ups in other countries. I started to apply to agencies who do work internationally or who have international clients. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I started to put myself out there on social media and let people know, like, hey, I'm passport ready, and like post the work that I've done internationally, even if that work wasn't paid, right? You see what I'm saying? Like, I started to do things that made that goal possible in 2 years instead of 5, because I had a smart goal. I didn't just say, again, that original goal, which was just like, oh, I want to do an international modeling job. I literally broke that down in something that was specific, measurable, achievable, relatable, and time bound. And that is why when I work with models one-on-one, by the time we get to day 2, not only do they have a strong why, but then they set a smart goal that we're able to now stair step. If one of their smart goals is like, the upcoming challenge that we're doing, currently, I want to get a paid model booking by Fashion Week. If that's your actual goal, you can drop the word Fashion Week and we can literally get on a sales call and in less than 30 minutes have it mapped out how we're going to do that so that you can guarantee that you're going to get your next paid job by Fashion Week. That's the power of having a smart goal. This entire challenge is a smart goal. Isn't that crazy? This entire challenge is a smart goal. Getting your next paid model booking by Fashion Week is a smart goal. And once you have it, you can actually reverse engineer, okay, what do I need to get a paid model booking? What do I need to have to get a paid model booking? Where do I need to put myself in position to get a paid model booking? Who do I need to connect to? Who do I need to network with? Where do I need to find these jobs? What type of jobs are actually best fit for me? What's the path of least resistance? You can now answer all these questions because you have a smart goal. And if you go through the rest of this challenge with me, just the free challenge that we're doing where, I'm doing these lives, I'm showing you guys in less than 30 minutes. These lives are less than 30 minutes. I'm showing you guys exactly what I'm teaching models. If you want to try this on your own, by all means, the models that I coach, they want to guarantee they get the results. For some of you guys, you want to dip your toe into it. You want to see if it actually works for you. But if you want the guarantee, you can always, again, DM us the word Fashion Week and let's actually work together to make that a reality. But the models or busy women who turn models who literally get their results is because we put together smart goals like this and then we stair step them into it. So the busy women I work with who have taken up this challenge and say, hey, I do want my next paid model booking by Fashion Week. They have taken on that smart goal. And depending on what their why is, what we do to accomplish that goal is going to be different for each and every one of them, but they will all get it, right? So whether the reason they're modeling is to show that, there is no age limit to beauty in the modeling industry, or to show that there should be short models on the runway, or to show that you can be a mom and be a model, whatever their why is, even if they all have the same goal, we're able to get them there because we know what their why is, we have a smart goal, and now we can do what we're going to do in day 3, which is pick a niche that's going to fit for them, and then what we're going to do in day 4, which is find out what actually works in their market. Okay. So I'm so glad that you guys, of course, tuned in live. Now it's time for your homework, right? Your homework is going to be to drop one smart goal that you have as a model, right? Do your best. I know it's not going to be perfect unless I'm your coach. A lot of times you guys won't get the feedback to actually make sure that it hits all of those notes, but drop it in the comments below. Or if you're watching the replay, you could drop it in the comments below. Actually take the time to think about the goals that you have and then create a smart goal from them. When you drop it in the comments below, or even DM us if you're feeling shy, right? You can always DM it to us and I will take a look at it and I'll give you some feedback on it, right? Again, I'm a coach, but I'm not your coach. So as you do this homework, just know this is your starting point, okay? This is your starting point. If you take this challenge seriously, like I told you guys in day 1, there are plenty of models who have made money off of my free podcast. There's plenty of models who have made money off of the free masterclasses I've done. There's plenty of models that have made money doing the free things that I put out. You could be a busy woman right now who might even make money off of this free challenge. But what I'm always going to tell you guys is that the only way I can give you a guarantee that you will, in fact, make money by Fashion Week, by booking your next paid modeling job, is if we work together. Because that's the guarantee I give every single client that I work with inside of the university. Every busy woman, every mom, every person who's tried modeling, getting back into it. I only give that guarantee to people I work with one-on-one. Because one, I'm that confident in myself, number 1. Number 2, I have developed this process, and you got to think about it. If I was able to develop this process to get myself to go full-time and to help other models go full-time, and I'm able to do a free challenge, like this is free. You hearing this on whatever platform you're watching, I know this well enough to do a free challenge about it. You can only imagine what would happen if I actually worked with you one-on-one. Because this has to be general, because again, like I tell you guys all the time, I'm a model coach, I'm not your model coach. So I can give you a framework, but I cannot make sure that it's tailored to you unless we're working together. Of course, of course. But you can do your best to take the things that I'm teaching you and apply them. Because education without implementation is just entertainment. So if you're really serious about getting your next paid model booking by Fashion Week and you want to guarantee it, you can always drop the word Fashion Week or DM us the word Fashion Week. And by all means, we can hop on a sales call and make sure that that guarantee comes to pass. But if you're just, doing your best to try to see what's going to work for you and if this is really for you, take this free challenge, actually do the homework and send it to us, right? Whether you drop it in the comment or you send it in a DM, whatever the case may be. But do the work, because everything that you want inside of your modeling career is on the other side of the work that you're not doing. And remember, there is space for anybody in the modeling industry and everybody can be a model. It's about finding where you fit. And the reason I started this university was to make sure that every model knows how to make money. So that if you want to work for free, it's by choice, not by force. What you want to do in your modeling career is up to you. And I'll always say this, you don't need my help to model for free. But if you want to make some money, you know where to find me. All right, everybody, that's the end of day 2. Again, this was all under 30 minutes. Please, 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 please take this seriously. Share this with a model that you know who should also be taking this free challenge. Again, if you guys want to guarantee those results and make sure that you're booking something by Fashion Week, getting that next paid modeling job, even if it's your first, you know what to do. Drop the word Fashion Week or DM us the word Fashion Week. Let's hop on the sales call and let's get that guarantee cashed in. All right. I'll see you guys back here for day 3. And trust me, you don't want to miss it. All right, guys, have a good one. Bye.